Preparing the stream. I'll have a beverage. Oh man.
Oh, you look, it looks fancier than it is. This is some coconut milk. I forgot to replenish my wine stash when I went out of town. So I'm like, there's nothing in here. Nothing that I would safely feel comfortable to drink and do this podcast with. Everything else is like, we'll put hair on my chest, and we're not doing that.
Well, thank you so much for that delightful introduction, because Aisha, we are underway for this month's Wind Down Wednesday. So how are you doing so far?
I'm good. You know, it's finally summer. It's been feeling like summer though for the past few weeks. So I'm grateful for that, because the winter we had was it's a little harsh, all that snow. So I smile even brighter when the sun rays hit my skin. So I'm doing wonderful. That's a long way of saying I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. So I just want to do a quick introduction. This is the Wind Down Wednesday podcast. I'm Lee Edwards. I'm currently the Vice President of Digital for NABJ Chicago, and I'm joined by
Aisha Jefferson, very active NABJ member and former board member. I served with Lee. And our third person who is not here, he had an emergency, is Will Jones, who is still, former board member who's very active with the chapter. Like, you can also be very active with the chapter. You do not have to be a board member to contribute. So just think about it.
Definitely. What she means is like also look at nabjchicago.org, I think /join, and there's all the details about being a good active member. So we got to get those things out there immediately.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Because we need you. We need, we were all active members before joining. And obviously, Lee is still a board member, but you can still contribute to organizations for all of us. It takes a village to make this work, and you are part of that village.
You know it. So this week, or this episode, we're going to be joined by the illustrious Elijah McKinnon, the co-founder and executive director of OTV Open Television. And so Elijah is going to tell us a little bit about Open TV and the upcoming For the Culture event that is taking place this weekend. So it's a free virtual event. And we're so excited to speak with them about it. It's going to be great. And until they join us, we have a few just housekeeping things just to keep note of. So NABJ Chicago is very active, and we're doing a lot of new and impressive things. One of the things that's coming up is NABJ is doing an event with the Chicago Bears. I know, like, you can clap if you like to. And so the Bears event is coming up in just a few weeks, and it's just an open discussion where the chapter is going to have dialogue. It's going to be festive. It's going to be amazing. To give you more details, it's a Chicago Bears and NABJ virtual roundtable. It's going to be happening on Monday, July 19th from 11 a.m. to noon. So I'm going to read you the whole description. The Chicago Bears communication team and National Association of Black Journalists Chicago chapter invite you to a virtual roundtable to connect with each other and learn more about media access and resources. This event is for NABJ members only, so please RSVP, and we'll be looking for you then. So, we may be seeing Aisha there, we may be seeing a lot of people there. There's no telling, so by all means, please be advised to be part of that event.
I'll sign up for it, definitely, because working for WBBM, we air the Bears games. I forget if it's every game, but I know definitely on Sundays we air the game. So I'm always listening and editing all of those stories. So that's something that I definitely will want to participate in, since I feel kind of connected to the team even more through work. So yeah.
Sounds like you're a fan.
Well, from Chicago, I pull for them. I still have memories of the Super Bowl shuffle, and I think my dad had that 45. You may not remember because you're from Ohio, right? Mm-hmm. But for those of us from Chicago, Super Bowl shuffle was a big thing, the whole video, and there was like I think there was like a little 45 or something. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So we may get a Super Bowl shuffle out of you? No?
I may shuffle my behind up, on that virtually. I may be there. I'll sign up for it. I'll put it in.
Also at the national level, NABJ is having national elections for president. So just keep that in mind as well. Two amazing candidates out there. We don't endorse specifically, but if you do your research, two great journalists are vying to be the NABJ president, and we wish them both all the best. So keep an eye out for that. And also there's the countdown is on for the national convention happening, I believe it to be August 18th through the 21st. So it's going to be virtual again this year. And for early registration, it's going to be on July 1st. So that's the cheapest, earliest rates is on July 1st.
Okay. And I also want to add something to that, if I may. I believe if you want to be able to vote in the upcoming election, you have to be current as of July 1st. So like you have to, if your membership is behind, you have to be a member, I think by July 1st, in order to vote in the upcoming election. So keep that in mind. That's what, 8 days or a week, just over a week or whatever.
Definitely. Yeah. So a little more information about the National Convention. The convention is happening again August 18th through 21st. It's going to be virtual. This year it's going to have over 140 sessions and events and 10 tracks. There's also going to be 70 companies and organizations that are interested in the famed job fair. So by all means, please check that out because it's one of the best in the country. And there are more events to come. So just check out nabjonline.org for more information.
Yes, and the job fair it is one of the best. I've gone to other job fairs. They're pretty cool. You'll see a lot of the same companies there, but this one, I mean, they really do a good job with bringing in a lot of different companies on different levels. Not just the big companies and the big, the big markets, but even smaller markets and stuff. So I recommend it. And if you're a student, I've gotten internships from coming to the job fair. I've gotten jobs from the job fair too, locally and nationally. So again, register and check it out.
Definitely. I've been to the one in New Orleans. That was a few years back, and that was a lot of fun. Also, it was very hot. So
it was New Orleans, and it's in August. August in New Orleans is that's very, very, very steamy. Yeah, it's the job fairs. I mean, and I participated virtually last year, and I was very impressed in terms of like being able to do interviews and talk to people, and it's just I got a lot of great feedback. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a member. I really did get a lot of great feedback and a lot of encouragement from from a lot of the recruiters and everything. Like they were bigging me up. I'm like, oh, okay, thank you very much. So again, check it out.
Definitely. I think last year I did virtual as well, and it was cool kind of just hopping in different activities, especially the workshops. It was just a lot of fun. And also it wasn't the same networking like I like to be doing in person, because at the national convention, there's 100 million people there from all like some famous people. It's kind of like you just got to play it cool. Like, oh, that's Jamel Hill over there. And like you've been there before.
Yeah, no, it really is. You do see a lot of different people who, again, were like, a lot of us in terms of whether you're a student, I think, I'm not sure about Jamel, but there's another sister whose name escapes me who was she was a student member and she participated in the student projects. And, now she's on TV. I forget her name, but Entertainment Tonight, I forget her name. But again, people just, like all of us, looking to get more experience, to add things to our repertoire, pay our bills or whatever. And, their path has taken them other places. So it's really cool. The one thing I will say that I enjoyed about the virtual was that you can hop in and out to meet with people and you didn't have to wait in long lines. Sometimes if you're trying, this is regarding the job fair, like, you're having to wait in line or just sign up and, try to wait it out or whatever. The virtual, it was more convenient because you had your set time and you can, you're in front of your computer, everyone's in front of their computer, and you're just able to chat with people without running around and having to wear, have your feet hurting from wearing heels. So yes. Sit down, let your feet rest.
Key thing to highlight.
Right. That's why I learned from wearing, 3-4 inch, little thin heels to wearing, okay, little black, cute, comfortable, sensible, because again, your feet are important,
So you didn't have the flats? You didn't have the Nikes in the bag?
You know what? So I used to have, not Nikes. I've had flats, like little photo flats, and I've had like
Oh, the roll-up ones?
Yeah, the roll-up ones. I had that before. I know. I've had sandals, cute little sandals, but I generally have done these cute little Black Stuart Weitzman heels that I have in a few different colors. I've worn those because they're cute, they're sensible, they're open so I can show off my cute toes, and they go with everything. And I know, show off my toes, and it worked. And because again, I learned from wearing these cute 4-inch heels, looking cute, and feet hurting, and then you can't dance at the parties because your feet hurt. And you're just on the wall, standing like this, because your feet hurt, trying to play it off. So yeah. But that's enough about my heels. That's my shoe advice that you will not need this year anyway, but remember it for next year.
I think next year, I'm not sure what's going to be next year, but I'm excited. I'm really excited for this. The upcoming year is going to be in Cleveland. No one else is excited about Cleveland.
Wait. I should know this. So wait.
That was the longest pause.
I was like, wait. Well, I went to Cleveland before. I went for the RNC. Yeah. I had a great time covering the RNC in Cleveland. So yes, I've been to Cleveland.
I think Cleveland's a bit more memorable than that.
It is. No, it is. It is. I'm messing with y'all.
Sorry, 216 is always for the win. 216-440. Gotta say your area codes.
Yeah, and also what happened, because the year I went, I think LeBron won it. They won. The Cavaliers won in 2016, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Cleveland. Yes, go Browns. Yes. Look. There's a bunch of Cleveland folks here trying to take over Chicago. So I like Cleveland. I'm sorry, Ohio people, because everything does not in Ohio does not revolve around Cleveland. There are other cities in Ohio, but there's a whole Ohio contingent, and they're all wonderful. But they are representing. So I like to just remind them where they are, because you're in Chicago.
So our dear brother Will, I believe he is from Cincinnati. There's a lot of Toledo being represented. Yes. I believe our dear president, Brandon Pope, he's a strong native of Ohio, a good son of Ohio. So OH. Oh, you don't get that part.
We are all that loving Midwestern, good family folk. Aside, don't believe everything you see in the headlines about Chicago. We are all still part of that. So
true. Oh, and of course Dayton. I almost forgot Dayton. So there's that. Speaking of Midwestern values, have you seen the trailer for the movie Karen?
I watched it.
No, share your thoughts. I'm curious to get your hot takes on the movie.
I watched. I think I missed. I'm pretty sure I sat through the whole thing. It was like 2 minutes, I think. I should have thought about that. I should have said last year when all that was going down. I should have said, Aisha, you should have wrote something like that. You would have just to write, because it was bound to happen. No, I saw it. I chuckled. It was. I think I'm gonna laugh. I think that's one of those movies that you watch with your people and you just laugh and have a good joke, because some of those instances, and not to make light of it, it's based off of things that have happened. People calling the cops unnecessarily on folks, being silly over, these homeowners associations. Some people take it too much, and there have been complaints about people being bored, having nothing else to do, and attacking people on that. So just a lot of other unnecessary things. So I don't want to make light of that. However, I just kind of, when I saw it, I missed I have so many Karen stories. I could have made that buck.
You have a lot of Karen stories?
I have my stories. I have stories that friends have told me over the years.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I have some, I have a few, but more so, but a lot from that people have opened up and shared to me too.
Oh, I see. Okay, so it seems as though that there's some opportunities, there's some things that could happen.
Mhm.
But you know, I'm trying to be optimistic with people's different projects because I watched one of the main projects that I was a little skeptical about was Underground Railroad featuring the work of Barry Jenkins.
I
I was
didn't
like,
see that. So I haven't. I have to take those coming. Some of those projects, like those, some of those slavery projects, the ones that are based on that period. Depending on what they are, I have to just be careful with my intake for them. So I haven't seen that. I watched Underground. Oh, I'm behind. I didn't watch the new season, but I watched the first 2 seasons. But I haven't seen Barry's project. How do you like it?
so you didn't see Underground? Well, you didn't finish Underground? Was
So
that the one with Aldous Hodge and Journey?
see, because it took a break for a couple of years. I watched the first 2 seasons and then took a break, and then I think it just came back, but I haven't watched it since it returned. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
So how do you like Underground Railroad with Barry's project? Have you seen that?
I think it's really good.
Okay.
It's very strong, and it's definitely something that we are trying to get through. Me and my partner, like, she pushed me. She's like, "Okay, we're gonna watch this one, give it a try." And I was like, "Eh." But then, as I started watching it more and more, it picked up. It
Okay,
really picked
good.
up, and now we had to take it like piece by piece.
You have to. I mean, because because a lot of stuff is very traumatic. There's a
Mhm.
psychological impact that it has watching certain things. So I think you do have to be mindful watching it. It can be triggering. I know I read and then listened on Audible to, and I don't want to give too much of it away in case you haven't seen it, to Kindred by Octavian Butler. And
Okay.
I've read that book before, but I listened to it on Audible. And last year, in the midst of everything that was happening, as Kindred is it's a slave story. It goes back and forth between the present day and it's a time traveling story. And so I had some things that were erupting listening to Kindred at night, especially before I went to bed. And I'm like, oh, this is not good. It's especially with everything that was happening last summer. So I don't fault people if they don't want to, watch certain things. But I do think educating yourself on the experiences, just knowing what happened I think it's helpful to understand certain things as they are unfolding now. Karen kind of reminded me. This Karen movie reminded me a little bit of Them, which I have not watched with Lena Waithe. Her
Mhm.
project on Prime. I've been warned not to watch it by a lot of people. I've been warned, well, if you do watch it, some other people said if you do watch it, you need to kind of like observe and kind of study it and break it down, that sort of thing. But a lot of people were like, yo, it's not for the faint of heart. Just some people labeled it trauma porn. I know she's gotten a lot of backlash for it, but I have not watched it, so I can't really give an opinion because I haven't watched it. But some people have. She's got a lot of backlash for it.
I guess it depends on really the individual.
Yeah.
That's why I'm trying to stay open and
Right.
positive about like what's happening because I know that there was the Lena Waithe, like you just mentioned, and that would seem like a lot, but I'm trying to, you know, watch as much as I can and then take my cues from there.
But I think that's a good way to do, Lee. I also think for some people you have to know where you are mental health wise.
Mm-hmm.
But like with George Floyd, like I haven't watched. We talked about this. I haven't watched the video yet. Few people haven't watched it yet. And one of the main reasons why I did not watch it was because at that particular period we were all indoors. The lakefront wasn't open, so there was no way to get out if you lived in the city. To After watching something like that, you pretty much had to stay in the house with all of that, all of your thoughts, everything surrounding that. And I just didn't think that with everything else that was happening in the world, that was the best thing for me to do, to watch that and kind of sit in the house with all of that energy and thoughts about this man dying before my eyes, before all of our eyes. So so I say
Yeah.
that I understand that some people have to be mindful of what they intake because how it may affect them. You know, that they may find themselves a little depressed for a little bit.
Yeah.
Everyone's different. Everyone's built differently.
And that's not always like the best opportunity to like, just jump in. Sometimes you have to like just find the right space. Like even
Yes.
for watching things like Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Yes.
Like I still haven't watched that yet because of what the passing of Chadwick Boseman. So I'm still hoping to get there, but just I eventually will watch it, but I'm just not in the mood to watch it, because I want to enjoy the content, not necessarily
think about him.
Think about everything that's happened. Yeah.
And I agree. See, and exactly. And I'm like that with movies, like even movies that may not be, that may have different, a different tone or whatever. I have to, like you said, be in that space to watch it for whatever reason, wherever my mood is, and just, okay, let me do this. Which is why sometimes I may rewatch TV shows or movies because I know the outcome and I just need something just to, I don't know, to keep me busy or distract me from something for a little bit, or just to uplift my mood, because I watch reruns of The Office, Living Single, and like Martin sometimes to like my mood, because I want to laugh, and I remember this episode being funny, and I want to laugh again.
Definitely. I think there's a lot to consider, and there's so many great shows out there, so many great pieces of content that we're just happy to do the best we can.
Yeah, I agree, and I'm glad that people are getting that people are have spaces to express themselves creatively and to tell their stories. That's very, very important. A lot of us have these stories pent up, and even as journalists, there's still some restriction into how we can tell certain stories. We can't always bring our full selves in a sense. So it's great that there are outlets and ways for people to share their creative genius, their brand of creative genius.
Outstanding. I definitely agree. But also, I know we are joined by Elijah McKinnon so much. Thank you so much for joining us, Elijah. We're so happy to have you.
Hey, good afternoon.
Hey.
Oh, hello.
You're outdoors, Elijah. I'm jealous.
I'm on my sun porch, which is it's like that in between,
Yeah.
know. But yeah, I am. The breeze is coming in. It feels quite lovely.
Look at you, a sun porch. Fancy. And your fancy nails. Let me see those nails again. Oh my God, is that tangerine?
It is.
I love tangerine.
You know your colors. I was gonna say plain old orange.
Look, mama represent.
Representing orange for it is the color of, it's one of the colors in the Pride rainbow, and it represents healing.
Oh.
And I am cultivating that all month long, months long of healing and spreading that to myself and the people that I love most. So a little tangerine.
I love it.
Impactful, definitely. Well, I'm so glad you could join us. We were just talking about different pieces of content that we've been consuming, about Karen, that upcoming movie that some people thought was a joke. And now we're trying to sort of look into what we can sort of take in terms of the rest of this month. I know, for example, like For the Culture is coming up this weekend. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, oh my goodness, it is this weekend. I cannot believe that it's already here. I'm really excited. So this weekend, For the Culture, which is a 2-day virtual summit taking place on the internet, will be happening on the 26th and the 27th between 12 and 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. And really what it is it's a way for us to build upon what we have started last year. The program was really born out of, I think, the marrying of, the 50th year anniversary specifically of the Pride March in Chicago, as well as, COVID-19, as well as global uprisings from the murder of Breonna Taylor and George Floyd, and a variety and many other Black and Brown individuals. And so we used that opportunity last year to create this space that highlighted Black LGBTQ plus artists across the city of Chicago. And so I think, through a more performative style program, there's a little bit more around like a variety show or a concert. for 3 days. And I think it was really great because, you know, we were all locked in our homes and we really couldn't go anywhere. And we were just looking for opportunities to cultivate joy. And while I think that that's really important and we haven't lost that, you know, something that my team and I have shared, you know, intimately over the last couple months as we've been developing this program is that while we're going to be shifting away from performances and more, you know, towards talks and meditations and workshops, something that's really important that I think we're bringing this year and this weekend is an opportunity for resource sharing. I think that while there have been many strides since, you know, um, the Stonewall and, you know, the Compton cafeteria riots and so many different things that have happened in historical context from LGBTQ plus people, it's like more critical now than ever that we continue to build that momentum. And so this weekend, we will have many different sessions for people to tap into and build their own sort of tools for liberation.
I love that. Tools for liberation.
Yeah, I'm really excited, and yeah, it'll be a good time. I think right now we're seeing, especially within media, and I think that that's a big piece of this program is that we're working with, you know, over 24 LGBTQ plus identified media makers from around the world that are using media to change the world, right? And build bridges and create opportunities for people to learn and grow and expand their minds. And so that's what people can tap into this Saturday and Sunday.
Excellent. Well, I appreciate you so much for all of your time and for really just telling us a little bit about OTV. We have to wrap in a few minutes, but can you sort of give us a sort of the energy of what it's like for you to produce this work? I know it's probably like several months in the making.
Yeah. You know, I am so privileged and blessed to be surrounded by a team of incredibly brilliant Black queer people. And I get to work with them and they get to empower me and we empower each other to create these portals for ourselves and the communities that we love. And so, you know, we have a lot of fun making these things, these programs, these initiatives. It does take a lot of energy. We put a lot of intention around the ways in which we build programs, from inclusion to accessibility to the content itself. But I think that something that we pride ourselves over at OTV is being intentional. And I think that that is something that our community holds us very, very accountable to and for. And so it is something that is, I think, ingrained in our DNA.
Now, if someone wants to contribute or have projects that they would like to pitch or whatever, how can they do that?
Yeah, so OTV is an intersectional web-based platform. We are open. Open television. I think one of the most difficult things in Hollywood and entertainment industry is just getting a meeting. So every person who ever wants to be on OTV is going to get a guaranteed meeting. You get a guaranteed meeting with Sarah Minnie and Chris Walker, who run up our development and exhibition departments. And the best way to do that is to submit via our pitch form, which is available on our website at weareo.tv. Just click the little pitch button and you can submit your project or your idea at whatever stage it is in. And then from there, someone from the development and exhibition team will reach out, set up a meeting, and we will provide you with whatever the support and resources it is that we can and that you need.
And do you have a fellowship or anything for people also?
We do, yeah. We do, yeah. So we have a fellowship. We are now in our 3rd year of the fellowship. It's an annual fellowship, but we actually call it it's more of a fellowship for life, because we realize that people who are in our communities, we want to be in, you know, relationship and communion and fellowship with them forever, or as long as they would like. So it's a self-select opt-out fellowship, but the term of the fellowship is 1 year, and we provide a $10,000 stipend to finish or complete a proof of concept of a project. And they also receive mentorship with executives and industry professionals. And it all sort of culminates with a intensive that we do in partnership with the Sundance Institute.
Ooh, look at that.
Things are happening. I'm making moves. We're making moves. Yes, we out here. We working.
I love it. I love it. So is there a deadline for, no, I know you're in the fellowship for life, but is there a deadline? What are the deadlines and all of that?
Yeah, so the recent class or cohort for 2021 just was announced. So they are just gearing up and they're very excited. I think one is actually going into production next week, which is really exciting. So the 2021 class is up and running. They are making moves. They're a really, really brilliant class, and you can find out more about each one of their projects on our website as well underneath at weareo.tv and underneath the Fellows tab. And then the next application will run or open normally. They open at the end of the year. So between end of December, top of January, and they are usually due in March.
Okay.
Yeah.
Impressive. Okay.
Very
So
impressive.
how can people support OTV Pass for the Culture? And
yeah. There are many ways to support OTV that are very simple, starting with just sharing and following us on all the platforms. That's We Are OTV everywhere, literally everywhere. We Are OTV. You can find us on all the things, and staying in tune in what we have coming up and down the pipeline. We have a lot of programs that serve artists at every sort of level of their careers, specifically intersectional artists. So, definitely keeping a lookout for those programs and for those resources that we share on all of our platforms. And then we recently just released at the end of 2020, a suite of television apps because we deserve nice things and we deserve our own platforms that don't censor us or challenge us or oppress us, like many platforms that we know. And so you can download all of those apps for free via the Amazon platform, via Roku, and via all Android and Apple devices. And if you download that app, you can create a free account. You don't have to subscribe to watch some of our content. But if you want to get all the content, hundreds of hours of content, exactly, and all the exclusive live programs and fun and exciting things, you can become a member for the small price of $3.99 a month. And yeah, it is. Or
Everybody else.
And we also have, for those who, unfortunately can't, make that price, we have accessible memberships available. All you have to do is head over to our website and click support. And we have, through, our sponsors and community collaborators and mutual aid initiatives, opportunities for people to get free memberships so that there are no barriers.
excellent.
Everything.
We think about a lot.
Yeah, I'm not mad. Look at this. I love it.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Well, I know I need to register and be part of this upcoming For the Culture.
Yes.
It's so great to have you. How can people keep up with you, Aisha, specifically on social media?
Yes, I am at ELIJAA everywhere. I'm on the internet. I'm in the interwebs. I have a very beautiful curated IG. So you go and pop over there and I say wildly inappropriate things on Twitter. So you can go over there. So there we go.
You're not the only one.
I am not. I am definitely not.
Well, we appreciate you so much, Elijah. Thank you so much for joining us on this edition of Wind Down Wednesday. I'm Lee Edwards.
Aisha Jefferson.
Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Bye.
Thank you too. Have a good night.
Good night.